So I'm going to jump straight in. Welcome to episode 3. Thank you all for sticking with me. So we're 3 weeks into this year-long project of talking about absolute nothing, recapping the things that happened in the previous week, and seeing where the conversation goes. It's a little difficult because I'm talking to a lens and I'm trying to imagine a face there that I'm kind of like, ooh, having a conversation with. And I think week after week it'll get a little bit easier, but it's very difficult. 7 long days you've had to sit there and think, God, what happened to his washing machine? Did he get a new washing machine? He did. Oh. So I mentioned last week that AO was giving us a direct replacement for the washing machine. It was actually an upgrade. We got a washing machine that was like £40 dearer, and they also offered to come and fit it for free as a apology for the nightmare of Simplify. Get this text from AO saying, your delivery will be between 7 AM and 7 PM. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'll just spend 12 hours sat at home waiting for the delivery. That's cool. But then it says at the bottom that we'll give you a smaller window on the day to let you know when they're coming. So I'm thinking, that's cool then. So I was supposed to be working at the shop at 4 PM. And I get this text Saturday morning saying, your window is now between 1 PM and 5 PM. And I'm thinking, surely, you know, it's going to come in the first 3 hours so I can go to work on time. I get a call at 20 to 4 from the driver just saying, yo, we'll be there in, 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. So I just ring up work saying I'm going to be a bit late. Washing machine man will be here, but it says it'll only take 10 minutes. It's just bringing it in, fitting it, sorted. So these 2 guys come, and again, they're really nice. They come in. I say to the guys, I've got to go to work in like 15 minutes. So the first guy gives me the general chit chat, starts asking me about things, asking me about my day. And I just said to him, I'm really not being rude. I've got to go to work in like 10, 15 minutes or I'm going to be late, which I already am late, but I'm going to be later than late. And I felt like there was no point explaining that because the longer I spend explaining how late I am, that I'm already late, and me being with you is going to make me later than I already am late, then it's a waste of time. So I just wanted to say, I'm going to be late. And it was like, yeah, mate, no worries. We'll be in and out 10 minutes flat. Sound. Okay, nice one. So 10 minutes rolls by and they're still getting the washer off the van, unpacking it, removing the transport rods, the thing that stops the concrete block from shaking while you're in transport. So I'm thinking, oh God, I'm really, really going to be late here. Bring the washing machine in and I say to the guy, right, I've got one of those like vinyl black floors. Looks really nice. And I said to the guy, please be careful. Because when I put the last washing machine in, I ripped the floor. The leg just got caught and it tore the floor up and it was wounding. I felt so bad. We just moved into this house, got a brand new kitchen, everything was done out, and I'd been in it 2 days and I ruined it. So the guy was talking to me, he was being really nice, and I said to him, yeah, just be careful. And then he just starts talking to me about vinyl floors, and genuinely a 10-minute conversation about vinyl floors and different types of vinyl. And I'm thinking, come on man, I've really got to go. So the other guy, he starts fitting pipes into the back and all this stuff, all the stuff that I could have done. I'm going to pause you there. When we first moved into the house, on the second night of living here, I got a bath. We haven't got a shower, we've just got a bath. So I got a bath and I unplugged the plug, and it's one of those stupid plugs where you turn the overflow thing and the plug goes boop boop. When you turn that, it goes up. You turn it the other way, it goes down. Really stupid design. And I turned it. I'm one of those weirdos that likes to unplug the bath and wait for all the water to go and then get up and get dry. I don't know why. I feel like 3/4 of the drying's already done for you. So Jess runs upstairs. She says, I can hear this dripping. What is it? I'm like, it's just a bit pipes. I'm letting the water out. It's just a thing. She's like, okay then. So I I come downstairs and I can hear this really, really bad dripping. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is not right. There's something's going wrong. And I look up in the corner of the kitchen and there's all water dripping through the ceiling and down the side of the walls. So all this dirty water, which it's not my dirty water, it's the water from the bath that's got dirty as it's travelled through the walls. So the water's travelled through the floorboards into the kitchen ceiling, which is below, and it's pouring out. And then I look outside and I can hear it. It's coming out like a river. I open the back door and the water's spraying everywhere. And I start having like a panic attack. I'm thinking, my God, we've been in this house 24 hours and I've ruined it. All I've done is get a bath. What has happened? I start sending photos to Jess's dad saying, oh my God, help, please help. I ring my brother over and over again. I'm like, dude, come and help me. Oh my God, my house is going to fall apart. It's all my fault. I messaged my friend Carl Pilkington and I just said, dude, oh my God, I will pay you any amount of money. Just come and fix this thing right now. And he rings me and he's like, well, have a look under the bath. It's probably just this pipe that's come loose. You just need to fasten it. I'm thinking, how do I get under the bath? I have no idea what I'm doing. Dude, I'm just stood in the bathroom thinking, what are you talking about? So he's just like, yeah, pull the side off. So I pull this side off bath, all shit comes up. I'm thinking, fuck. And I look underneath, I'm like, oh my God, is that what underneath baths look like? When you see a pristine bathroom, you're thinking, God, it looks good. Behind everything, there's just grime. I'm so uneducated in anything. My friend's on the phone. He's trying to guide me about what to do, what's knackered, what's broke. And I'm looking through it and I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. He's like, oh, there should be a thing, just tighten it. So I video call him and I put the phone underneath the bath. I'm like, just, And it became very clear to me that I'd spent a lot of my life not doing anything very productive. So the water finally stopped trickling down. And my brother ended up coming through and fixing it. The pipe had come completely knackered. So at one point I ended up ringing the woman who we bought the house off, and she said, sometimes the pipe underneath the bath comes a little bit loose, but it's like every 2 years. It turned out that when I'd turned the overflow thing to release the plug, that one particular time I did it was the one time that knocked it loose. So that's my luck. So I had a bit of a wobble. The kitchen ceiling now needs repainting. There's going to be damp in the walls and in the ceiling. And I'm just sat there thinking, it's very clear how little I know about DIY and things like that. It really shocked me. And I'm sat there thinking, I own a home and there's a million things that can go wrong and I wouldn't know where to begin. I had to get my stepdad to come through and put a bloody wardrobe up for me. And I'm thinking, what are you doing with your life, Josh? Why? You don't know anything. Why? So I posted on Facebook, how would one go about learning basic DIY maintenance skills? Pipes, tools, wiring, tiling, painting, garden, car, etc. All those little things that most people learn as they're growing up instead of spending their evenings eating malt loaf and playing Guitar Hero in their pants. Is there like a course or something asking for a mate who's almost 30 and recently realised he's beyond useless and wants to learn before it's too late? And I got quite a lot of traction. There were a lot of people commenting, and I think 90% of the things were all YouTube. Watch things on YouTube, just learn how to do it. Little by little, you'll get better. So I'm sat there, I'm thinking, right, I know nothing. The whole ordeal, it really inspired me to try things and try learn and try get better at anything because I'm so useless. So the first thing that I did was fit that first washing machine, and it took me about an hour, but I did it. I followed the instructions on YouTube. You want to connect this to this, you want to plug this in there, you want to do that. I did it. I got it in, I pressed start. Although it was the washing machine from hell and it ruined my life, it worked and I did it. I did something for the first time with my hands, these hands. And it was a really good feeling. So I was like, right, what do I do next? I mounted the CCTV on the walls, you know, I'm drilling holes, putting the little screwy things in and then the screws into those things. I bought my daughter a wardrobe, one of those 2 doors ones, and it's almost not wonky, but I did it myself. My dad gave me a jigsaw, so I managed to cut part of my desk off myself. I did that. I'm stood there with a tool thinking, oh my God, I'm using a tool. I cut some off. It wasn't a really straight line, but it worked. And now my desk fits in this gap here. I did things and it feels good. It feels good. And now I'm addicted to buying tools that I don't need. But what I really want is a big drill with some extra batteries. So my goal for this year is to be more hands-on, do things myself. I've got a lot of things that I want to do around the house. I want to learn the ins and outs of the car and how to like do general shit. I'm going to maintain the garden. I'm going to get that looking how I want. There's lots of things I want to do, and hopefully I can spend the year talking to you guys about it and how I'm getting better at life. So back to the washing machine. The guy from AO came and he delivered it, and he was really nice, top guy, but it was taking forever and I really needed to go to work. And this washing machine that we put in, it looks miles better. It's really nice. It's central, you know, the dial's above the wheel, so it looks nice. But the only thing with it, it seems to only have a few modes, and like one mode is like 10-minute ultra quick wash, and the other is like 2.5 hours. So what do? There's no, we want one that's like 40 degrees, 45 minutes, done. So that's an assignment that I've gave Jess for the week. Try and figure that one out. Thanks. I love you. We've been watching a lot of Trailer Park Boys, and the main guy, Ricky, one of his main things, he mispronounces words all the time.
I'm not a pessimist, I'm an optometrist. Just remember, Leahy, what comes around is all around. You know, he's getting all frustrated, and instead of growing dope 6 or 7 times through denial and error.
Jess says it really reminds her of me because of this one particular time. This one time. We're looking for something to eat on Just Eat, and I read this place out, and I say, Wayne's Place. And she absolutely pisses herself laughing. I've never seen this word in my entire life. Plaice. What is it? And she's laughing, she's wetting herself. She tells her family, they're all wetting themselves at me. And I was sat there like, what? So it turns out it's pronounced Wayne's Place, and place is some kind of fish thing. I don't know, I blocked it out of my brain, I don't care. Go away. Later that Saturday, I got to work finally after the washing machine was installed, and it was a really good shift. It was a really nice Saturday night. Lots of good people talking, lots of conversation flowing. One thing that absolutely pissed me off, this guy came in, and usually he's really, really nice, and he talks to me. He says, oh, have you watched Afterlife Season 3 yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't watched it yet. It came out yesterday, please. Shush. And he's like, I've watched all episodes. I'm like, yeah, but I've got 2 jobs. I'm knackered. Shut up. He says, yeah, there's only 6 episodes. You can do it. I politely say to him, please, just change subject. I really, really hate spoilers. And to me, saying something like, oh, it's really good, that's already a spoiler. It reminds me of the thing where Sheldon on Big Bang Theory is talking about when someone says it's mind-blowing and then his brain is going into the thing pre-blown, you know, so you expect it, your expectations are set, and that it's spoilt one way or another. I want to watch it on my own terms, blank canvas. So this guy is so persistent in winding me up about it because I said to him, do not talk about it anymore. Shush. Shh. So he's like, yeah, it's really, really good. You have to make sure you watch it when you can. I'm like, hey, listen, stop. I said, no, right, I'm not being funny. Just stop it now. Stop talking about it. So he gets his pint and he like turns around and he mutters something under his breath. And I don't actually hear it because the music's quite loud and it sounded like a big spoiler. And I'm thinking, what an absolute knobhead. I look at this guy and I'm thinking, if that turns out to be true, you are not coming in this place anymore. I will never serve you. I will never do anything. Done. Me, you, done. Get out. And when I think about it, what he said was so far-fetched, it's never going to happen. And if it does happen, then it's lame. So it put me in a really, really bad mood. And then for the next like hour, he kept trying to talk to me about random shit. And I weren't having it. I was so angry. I just wanted to leave. This is why I hate people. So Monday rolls by and I go to look on my phone to see what my shifts are for the week, to see what I'm up to and what I'm doing. And this is genuinely one of the best parts of my week because by the time the following week rolls by, I forgot what I do. So to keep track of the shifts, we use an app called Sling. And instead of installing the app or bookmarking it on my Chrome, I type the word in, I type Sling into Google. And every time, I'm going to do it now. And every time, there's always an image of this poor lady in the top corner, sat on like a toilet sling. Yeah, and she looks so happy to be in this sling. I feel so sorry for the people that have to use those things, but my God, seeing her face at the beginning of every week, oh, it just makes my day. Whew. My old mum just came round to drop me some drawers off for bedroom. Bless her. Anyway, I have got a bug. Bug! I've caught the Tarkov bug again. So, last week I was playing the World War III beta, and I was really feeling shooters. I wanted to kill some bitches. That's what I love about gaming. And Pandypoo messaged me about Tarkov, and now they've updated this thing, added inertia, added some other kind of shit, and I'm thinking, oh, I did have a lot of fun on Tarkov, but I had way more bad times than good times. Getting my head around the ammo types and the different guns and attachments and shit, it was just so frustrating. I've really got back into it, and I'm really enjoying playing with a group. I still can't stand the game on my own. I'm really not a solo player. I'm useless. But yeah, if anyone plays Tarkov and they want to jump on, just let me know. So last week I talked about the tickets that I managed to get for Hypothetical being filmed in London. So the original plan was to go down on Wednesday, drive down, go to the show, drive back up. And I just thought 6 hours is a lot of driving in one day. So I think it'd make more sense if when Jess finishes work at 5, she comes home, we drive down, stop somewhere in a hotel and go watch the filming and then drive back. I booked us somewhere cheap and cheerful, like I think it was a travel lodge. We're here and I booked it like 2 hours south and we stayed there, and then the studio was another hour south. So I thought I'd prepay for as dinner at the hotel. So you bought 2 courses and a dessert or whatever. And then I bought unlimited breakfast for the next day. I thought we're going to get proper full, have a good day, loads of food, really good. Paid for it all in advance, so we have a really good drive down. It's 2 and a bit hours. And we were listening to this Rod Gilbert podcast. It's called Froth. Frothy coffee. It's called Froth. We're listening to this Rod Gilbert podcast called Froth, finally. And it's a really funny talk show with Rod, his wife, there's a producer, and they have guest stars. And we decided to watch this episode with James Acaster in, seeing as though he's going to be presenting the show that we're watching the following day. There's one particular part in the show where they were talking about panda bears being too comfortable to mate. Then they were talking about different ways that can make the pandas uncomfortable. And it was just a really good show. And then before I knew it, like 2 hours had flown by. So if you ever got a long drive, I would really recommend listening to a podcast instead of music. The time just flashes by, so good. We get to the hotel, we walk to the front door, and it's about 8 o'clock at night. I'm thinking, God, I'm ready for this meal. I'd seen that Jess is really liking these katsu curry things, so when I saw on the menu there's katsu curry, blah, I wanted this big burger stack, and I'm thinking, after this long drive, long day, loads of stuff been going on, I'm really excited for this. Walk through the front door, and it says on this sign as you walk up, sorry, the kitchen is closed. I'm thinking, what? This is a sign. This is a sign that we shouldn't be having fun and doing things. The only place within like half a mile is Domino's, and it was already late and I didn't want to be eating too late, so we ordered this Domino's and it was alright. Then it clocks that, next morning there's no breakfast either. I had to trek down to Tesco where there's a little Costa inside. I'm thinking, right, I suppose I can get a Costa, I can get a nice coffee at least in the morning that'll wake me up, and some of those like ham and cheese toasties. And I get there and it's cash only, and I'm thinking, my God, can I not just... So after some mucking about, I bring the breakfast back. We have a nice morning. We do chill. We get to check out at 12 o'clock. And then we drive for an hour and a half to Pinewood Studios. It was a good drive. It was okay. We're chilling. We're carrying listening to that podcast, get us into the mood. And we get to this little bit in the road, and I've never seen anything like it. So when I'm driving to my dad's house, there's these bits of road that come out, and you have to like give way to oncoming traffic. And this one was ridiculous. Not only did it cut your entire side of the road off, it was just big enough for like a Mini Cooper to fit in. The stupidest little design I've ever seen. Right, I absolutely believe in stopping people speeding and adding speed bumps and things like that, whatever. It stops people driving like dickheads. But creating traffic, oh God, it kills me. It absolutely does my tits in. It was even harder on the way back because obviously it's dark and you have to squeeze through this tiny little thing and there's like a centimetre either side of the car. No, not having it. Anyway, we get to Pinewood Studios and I'm absolutely in my element. It's huge and I'm so excited to see I was more excited to see the cameras and the audio equipment and how everything's produced than the actual show. I mean, I was looking forward to the show, but I just love anything to do with film production, and it really got me going. I was so excited. It took about an hour to check in, which is, it is what it is. We finally get inside, and me and Jess got sat at the very front row, at the very centre. We was at the middle front, right next to the main camera. It was so good. I couldn't believe it. And there was a warm-up act, this warm-up guy that came out, and he was telling jokes, so he was getting the crowd involved. He was taking piss out of everybody. Then James Acaster and Josh Widdicombe come out and sit down. And there's like, they introduce themselves and they get the show going. It's really good. And then it says it's time to introduce us guests. I'm thinking, oh, I'm so excited. You know, who can it be? And the first guy comes out, it's Ross Noble. And I, as a kid, absolutely loved Ross Noble. My brother had all his DVDs. He had this insane DVD shelf thing around the edge of his bedroom. And he had hundreds and hundreds of DVDs, and he had all the ones by Ross Noble. And me and my friends, whenever my brother was out, we used to sneak down into his bedroom, take one DVD, watch it, put it back before he got home. We'd watch things like his Physiologic and his Randomist DVDs like over and over again. We absolutely loved him. It was so funny. And Ross Noble walked out on stage, and then me and Jess looked at each other, and we was just like, wow, this is already infinitely better than I could have imagined. It's just having him alone was great. And the three other guests were, I'd never heard of them before, but they were quite funny. You know, they kept the show going. But Ross Noble, he absolutely carried it. So there was a lot of banter. There was a lot of things going on. Ross Noble is like an expert of improvising and on the spot thinking, and he turns like any conversation to something funny. And the audience was just pissing themselves the entire time. It was such a good experience, but I found myself constantly watching like the prompt cues and things like that, and keeping my eyes on the cameramen and everyone moving like the crane and stuff like that. I'm thinking, God, that crane's close to that woman's head. I was just obsessed with the whole background of it all. It was so exciting. I'm really looking forward to watching the episode when it goes live, because I'm going to be spending the entire time looking for us, because we're really at the front, so hopefully they'll be able to see us a little bit. I don't know, I'm just excited. I've got a really long bucket list of mundane, silly, stupid things. I've gone over it a couple of times in my stream when people have asked me what it is. And being sat in an audience for a TV show is one of the things on my bucket list, and it just felt really good to tick it off. I would recommend it to anybody. So if you go on SRO Audience's website, you can get on their mailing list, and basically they send you emails out like a week before the filming just to get people interested. Honestly, it's really fun. The drive back was okay, apart from that stupid road thing that we had to go through again. Another thing that happened this week is Live Nation posting the lineup for this When You Were Young festival, which if you haven't seen it, it's a huge gig with some insane names on. There's something like 60 bands playing over the course of one day over, is it 3 stages? And there's a lot of people doubting its existence and thinking it's like another Fire Festival thing. Tickets are like $200 odd, and it's in Las Vegas, and people will fly all over the world for this. My Chemical Romance, Paramore, Bring Me the Horizon, Day to Remember, AFI, Alkaline Trio, Taking Back Sunday, Avril Lavigne, Jimmy Eat World, The Used. The list just goes on and on and on. To me, it just seems like it's never going to happen. To me, for a one-day festival, it just seems so crazy. The Clash Finder on that must just be... It's going to be impossible. There's people going to be missing bands left, right and centre. If there's 60 odd bands playing in one day over 3 stages, each band must be getting like a 30-minute set. I do admit, when I first saw it, I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody had made it and posted it, you know, it was just going viral as like the dream emo set list. I suppose come October we'll see whether it happens or not, but I really do hope it goes forward. I know that I've seen a lot of people on my newsfeed saying that they're going, you know, they're going to buy tickets, they're going to fly. So yeah, for you guys, I hope it works out. This week I started a Facebook, Instagram and Twitter account called Really Close, spelt R-E-E-L-Y, as in like a reel. And basically I've just used one of my macro lenses and took some photos of things really close up. And I'll just post things like, this is a spiky leaf, but really close. A tree stump, but really close. Morning dew, but really close. Anyway, it's quite fun, so every now and again I'll just pop outside somewhere, go for a walk, take some photos of random shit. I'll keep posting things every now and again and see what happens. It's just a bit of fun, so if you want to go and follow that, that'd be awesome. I've seen a couple of posts this week from Xbox, which has been quite interesting. Xbox have posted about their acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which could be interesting. Hopefully it means that we'll see some Call of Duty titles in the Game Pass. I don't ever think that they're going to be Xbox exclusives because that's just unrealistic, but Modern Warfare, I don't really want to buy it for a third time, so I would like it if I could play that on PC, thanks. But one of the posts that really got me thinking is Xbox asked, what game changed your life? And I sat there for quite a while. I was sat in bed thinking about all the games that have meant a lot to me, things like Guitar Hero, certain Mario games and things growing up, Mario Kart. I've got a lot of strong memories about certain games, but for me, the game that turned me into a gamer and not just a casual player has to be Gears of War 1. When Gears of War came out, I think it was 2006, something like that. At the time, I only owned a PS2, which I used for Guitar Hero. I had my GameCube, which I used for Mario Kart, Mario Sunshine and things like that. And I had the Xbox, which I was playing the original Halo. And my friend Carl took me around to his house after school one day and he'd got this Xbox 360. And I'm thinking, whoa, you've got an Xbox 360. And I still remember it. It's got like a Gears of War panel on the front of it. It's so cool. And he took me around to his house. I'm sat in his attic bedroom. I'm sat there and I see this multiplayer thing going on for the first time. I'd never played online in my entire life. And I'm seeing this multiplayer lobby and there's people chatting shit down mic to each other. Oh, I banged your mum. It was just, my mind was blown. I'm thinking, this is what I want to do forever. So I'm sat there and I'm running as Dom, you know, and I'm jumping forward, I'm in cover, and the graphics was like nothing I'd ever seen before. And that, I was so determined to get an Xbox 360, and I used to go around to his house so often just to play this thing with him. We had such good times together. We're playing with his brother, we're playing online, all lads would be on after school and stuff like that. My mum got me an Xbox 360 eventually, and I got Gears of War, and running home from school and getting on with boys, you know, having sniping battles on Gridlock and things like that. Gears of War was fantastic, and it's such a crime what's happened to that series. It breaks my heart. But yeah, that was the game that changed my life, because if it weren't for that, I think I would have gone down the path of just being a casual player. I got into that and then I was sinking every available hour of my life into that game. And then more games were coming out around that time. You know, there were Call of Duties and things like that I'd never played before. Getting in those lobbies with your pals, it was just the best times. It was the best times. Yesterday I did a short shift at the bottle shop, and it was a really cold day and there was some mulled wine left over. So I put the mulled wine into like a plastic water jug thing and brought it home. And it really looked like a jug of wee. So I was thinking, I can play a trick here. So I walked through the door, I'm like, ooh, I'm freezing. And my missus has stood in the kitchen and she's doing some bits and bobs. And I go to her and I go, here, hold that. She grabs it, she's holding it, and she's like, is that? And I went, yeah, I had to pull over and wee because I was just so busting, I couldn't hold it any longer. And she looked at me and she was just absolutely, no words. She was just like, it was great. And I held my face as long as I could, but eventually I had to go, no, it's mulled cider, don't worry. Oh, and I just love the whole like small prank culture between couples, you know, doing small things to wind each other up. I think for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to really try and up my game and prank her a little bit more, and then tell you guys the stories about what I do. Yeah, piss jug. Quite funny. On Monday, I had a couple of friends come round. We drunk some insane beers. It was such a good session. At this point, Virgin Media still wasn't back. We planned on playing FIFA, but that's part of Game Pass, and we obviously couldn't access it. So we ended up playing Mario Party. That game is designed to ruin friendships. We played two 2-hour games, and I came last on both of them. And we turned it into a bit of a drinking game. Every time you rolled a 1, you took a drink of mead, or limoncello, or whatever. And that... Just got a text from Virgin Media, that was weird. Virgin Media here. We're finished working on our network in your area, so you should be back online now. Thanks for bearing with us. Still having issues? Try rebooting your hub. Turn it off, wait 60 seconds, and turn it back on. For more info, head to virginmedia.com/reboot-hub. So yeah, it's the following Friday, a full week since we a full 9-10 days since we started having issues, and it seems that everything's back to normal now. So yeah, that's the end of this week. On Saturday, I'm going to an all-you-can-eat meat restaurant. Chili beef, garlic steak, wow, perfect. On Sunday, we're going to like a little craft fair in the next village, taking the daughter, missus, a few other people in the family. We're going to go and buy some bits and bobs. That should be interesting. So next week, I have nothing. My entire calendar is blank. Hopefully something fun happens next week and I can come on and talk to you guys about it. That's the whole point of this, but if it's a blank week, I'll just come on and tell stories. Tell memories, try and think of something that happened in the last couple of years that were funny. Oh, skiing trip. That's one for next week. I'll talk about the ski trip me and Jess went on. So yeah, thank you everybody for your time again. If you could do the whole subscribing, bell clicking, all that kind of stuff, it'd really mean a lot. I do stream over on Twitch if you want to go and click on there. You don't have to. I appreciate it if you do. The chances are everybody watching is from my Twitch anyway, so whatever. So yes, take care everybody, have a good week, and I will see you all next weekend. Goodbye.